What is up, reviewees? Welcome back, or welcome to your first time. We're going to actually take you through the how-to portion of our episode of how to set up your initial GE profile Opal 2.0 ice maker. That's right, if you just bought yourself one of these, or maybe somebody gave it to you, in June 2024, this will set you back about $560. On Amazon, you can find it at Home Depot, but that's about the price that you will spend for this thing. Today we're going to walk you through the initial sanitizing process, how to clean it, which is also going to be what you need to do about every month, depending on where you live and the softness or hardness of your water. This will also be the descaling process with some vinegar. And then we're going to walk you through the initial startup. We should be making ice in about 20 minutes once we get it all cleaned up and ready to go. So this will hold up to 3 pounds of ice. This version, the 2.0, comes with a side tank. So in the bottom, it holds about 5 cups of water, and then this, so you don't have to change the water as frequently. And then your ice is stored in there. And pretty cool features, and we will walk you through. Hopefully, if this is your first time and you think we did a good job, maybe you just didn't want to go through this book and you want to watch the video, we will take you through that process. Hey, give this video a thumbs up after you're done. If we did a good job, please let us know. We appreciate it. It helps the channel out if you subscribe. If you got any questions, please leave a comment. I do my best to answer every question. And do my best to find the answers for you. So let's get to it. This is a pretty beefy thing. You can see it's sitting on top of a little mini fridge, but it's heavy duty, and I will get us started. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the review board. Sit right down and just enjoy. Eat it on steak before you go out and buy. These are the guys. The review board. Welcome to the review board. Sit right down and just enjoy. Jake, Joe, Edie, Puff, and the boys are on the review board. Welcome to the review board.
So our first step is to sanitize it. So all you're gonna need is 1 teaspoon of bleach, and you're gonna fill the reservoir up, so it's about 5 cups with 1 teaspoon of bleach, and then we will run the clean cycle. I will show you how to do that. Also, if you have the filter, and only the GE appliance filter will work for this, all right? Go ahead for the first time, if you've just purchased it, soak it for 5 minutes in water, all right? That's gonna help clear some of that carbon out, and I'll show you how to install that, but we don't need that yet. I will show you. All right, so make sure your machine's unplugged. We're gonna take that out by lifting it up and pulling it out, and then you will see inside there, all right, it's got this little, right on that side, that's where the filter's gonna go, but it's got this screen, and the screen just helps keep out any impurities while you're cleaning it. So that needs to be in there while you're cleaning it. It just snaps into place, and it already comes installed in it. So just make sure, I wanted to show you that. We're gonna fill this up with water and our 1 teaspoon of bleach. All right, so we're just adding the water to the water reservoir. Okay, there's a water fill line, and that's right there. Just get it right below there. Add your teaspoon of bleach, and this will be anytime you need to sanitize the machine. All right, so we've got our water filled up. We're gonna put the ice tray back in, so it kind of goes up at an angle and then it slides right in, and we close it. We're gonna plug it in, and then I will show you. Okay, before we clean it, it does have Wi-Fi connectability. Not real sure if you're gonna need that, but you can set reminders and alerts to your phone if you want to. There's Android and Apple apps for that. I wanted to take around the back. These are the drain tubes and the water tube for the side tank right there. So these stay here. They can easily come off, and I'll show you that process. But right now, we want to make sure those are in. No water will drain there before we start it. Now the water's in. We've got it on. You're just going to take this clean button right here, and you're going to press it for 3 seconds and hold it. All right. Now it's going, lights up, and it's gonna start. Kind of sounds like, yeah, sounds like a refrigerator motor. little fan in there. And I'll turn it back on once it's gonna start cycling the water through, and the water is gonna be coming through the drip tray. This is sanitizing your machine for the first time, getting all the impurities that come from the factory out of it. All right, so it also lights up and tells you it's cleaning. There's the water coming through. All right, and this is a nice feature. So that is the ice drawer where you'll be getting your ice from. But if the ice does melt, the water just drains back down into the water reservoir beneath. So that's a good feature so that you don't have like a solid chunk of ice in there. Okay, so that took about 5 minutes. The cleaning light is now off and it's flashing clean. The water's done running through it, and the motor's not running as loud. So you'll just remove the ice tray so you can see into it, because we're gonna need to clean that out. You don't have to remove the ice tray, but then if you're not next to a sink, you're gonna need a bowl big enough, or a bucket, and then we're gonna drain these tubes into this bucket. All right, so we just pop the holder off like that, take the tubes out of the back, and then just take that off there. Make sure it's down into the bucket or your bowl, and it's gonna drain. Once it's all fully drained, we'll dump that water out and we'll do the rinse cycle. You can see as it's draining, it's going down and it's going through that screen, helping filter out any big particles that might be in there if you're using tap water or whatever. All right, so now it's fully drained. We're just gonna take the clip, we're gonna put the hoses back onto it. All right, so this one goes on the top. The one that goes to the side tank will go there for now. And we just clip it back on the back and clip those into place. And now we are ready for the cleaning cycle to help rinse all that bleach that might be left over. And you have to do this, it says recommended 2 times, but more if you feel like it. So 3 or 4 for the first time might not be a bad way to go. Okay, so they recommend doing, in the quick startup guide, steps 4 to 8 at least 2 more times. We've already done it 2 times, but I'm gonna show you the last time. It's exactly the same. We just filled it up with fresh water this time, no bleach in it, just fresh, clean water. Put it in, and like we do it the first time, we press and hold the clean button for 3 seconds, and now it's just gonna run that fresh water through the system, and then we'll empty it out of the lines just like you saw in the initial sanitizing step. All right, so now we initially got it sanitized, we got it cleaned 3 or 4 times to get that bleach out of there. Same process if you're gonna descale it, except no bleach. You're using a teaspoon of vinegar in your water, and then you flush it 3 or 4 times. And again, depending on how hard your water is, they recommend doing it every 2 to 4 weeks, okay? But now, if you have the filter, okay, we've already let it sit for 5 minutes. Oops, I'll clean that up. Don't worry about that. Special reviewee. We're gonna take that filter screen intake out, and we're gonna put this in place, all right? But you don't have the filter, and you'll have to take the filter out when you're descaling or sanitizing it, okay? All right, so let's take that out. There we go. Now, the filter has this on, that goes up top, and then that's gonna go right into there. Kind of slips in. There, makes that popping sound. It's in place. All right, now, because this is the first time using this filter, which they recommend changing every 3 months or 150 hours, we're gonna fill that up with fresh water, and we're gonna run 1 or 2 cycles, just like we did with the cleaning process. All right, so we've got the filter in place. We filled up the reservoir with water. We're gonna put our bin ice can back in place. Press and hold the button for 3 seconds, the clean button, and it's gonna start the process, and it's gonna help just clean out that new filter. So this is, again, a process you have to do every time you change that filter, that they recommend doing every 3 months or 150 hours. All right, so since our machine did come with the side tank, okay, and this is gonna help, you're just not gonna have to fill up that reservoir as often. This gives you a little more time between refills. So we already went ahead, hand wash only, okay? Just remember that for most of this machine, just hand wash it. So we use soap and water, dried it out, and we're gonna take that drain hose that was on the back, and it's clearly marked, and I'll show it to you. And we are gonna connect it right there to that little inlet. Now, what's a cool feature on this? You could put this on the left or right side. It just has a little stand right there, and you can mount it on either side. A little clip hooks into it. So whichever fits better on your counter or wherever you decide to put it. So we're gonna go ahead and attach the hoses now. So the hoses are back there, the drain hose. So that goes to the main reservoir. This one is clearly marked 2B. So whether it's on the left or right, this is the one you're gonna connect to that. All right, so we're gonna just put that over that, there, and then this just slips down onto that base and you can feel it. That's safe. Fits at the front there. So that's secure, and then we're gonna fill up the reservoir, and I'll show you that. All right, so this just unscrews, all right. It's got a little flap that'll be pushed up when you put it onto the base. There is a silicone ring in there, so when you clean it, if it falls out, just make sure it goes back in there so that you get a good seal on that, all right, like that. So let's go ahead and fill that up. All right, so go ahead, screw that back on, and we will put it in place. Oh yeah, that's a lot more water than can fit in that reservoir. Okay, so then this just flips over, not gonna leak. There's a little thing in there that'll push. All right, now the water's getting in. And I gotta remind you, we are doing all of this with the machine unplugged. Okay, just for safety's sake, follow the directions. All right, and now we're getting ready to plug it back in, and we're getting ready to finally make some ice. All right, let's go. So, not real sure why. I plugged it in. I was getting ready to show you guys me putting the ice bin in and pressing the power button to start ice making. But for some reason, it started a cleaning cycle. Because I was like, yeah, water's not supposed to be coming out there right now. So I'm just gonna let it finish its cleaning cycle. Not real sure why it did that, because I just plugged it in. So we'll see. All right, there it stopped its cleaning cycle. So be aware, if it does that for you, just let it do its thing, I guess. All right, I'm gonna let it drain, and then we'll start making ice. Finally, does take a little bit of time to clean this, for the first time setup, sanitize, get everything through. Okay, that extra clean cycle stopped, so all dry, everything's ready to go. Slightly up at an angle, put it in. Now it is nice on a regular basis to get ice out, it's just gonna sit there like that, and you can scoop out your ice. Let's close the door, and then all we have to do is press this power button. Maybe a little longer. Okay, maybe a little longer. Okay, the directions say to press the power button. Let's, no, I don't want to clean it. We're gonna let it clean like that. What the heck? All right, so now let's see. We are ready to power it on. All right, reviewees, figured it out. So when the cleaning cycle is going, it's just gonna stay in the cleaning cycle, okay? So if you turn it on and you press that 3 times, if you wanna stop the cleaning cycle, all you do is hold it for 3 seconds, 1, 2, and it turns the machine off. We've already cleaned it, but it is gonna stay in that cleaning cycle until you press and hold it 3 seconds. Otherwise, it's just gonna keep flashing because you know it wants you to keep cleaning it. So now we're ready to go. Bin's in, I'm gonna dry it, and then all we're gonna do is press the power button and we're gonna start making ice, finally. So that was not in the direction, so good thing you're here watching this. Hey, right now, If you can, if you like the video so far, thumbs it up. Hey, go ahead. If you don't mind, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. And we're gonna get this making. We are going to press the power button, and now the light comes on that says making ice. So now it's gonna take between 10 and 20 minutes to make that first batch. So I'll keep you posted on how this process is going. So I did want to show you, this has been making ice for about 2 minutes, so you will actually have water coming through there. So you don't actually need to take the time to dry this. Okay, so it's been about an hour and 20 minutes since this started. And within about 10 minutes, it made the first few little cubes that started melting. But now you can see, it makes about a pound an hour, all right? And it'll hold upwards of 3 pounds in there. So that is pretty cool. So that's the kind of the smaller ice that you might get at like a Chick-fil-A. Now, we never recommend that you chew on your ice, okay? Per my college roommate who's a dentist. We want to keep those teeth healthy. But that is pretty cool. And we haven't even got into the side tank water yet. This is just coming from that water that we put in there. So pretty cool. We'll check back here in a little bit. All right, reviewees. It's been about 20 hours. It's the next day. That's why I'm in a different shirt. And we have fully made about 3 pounds of ice. It is no longer saying making ice. The power is still on. And we've learned a few key things that I was unaware of before this process started. Now, I will show you, if you want a light on, okay, you can light up your ice. It was pretty bright. They have a dim feature, or just press it again. No light. You don't need the light on your ice, but if you need it. Now, this is chewy ice. Again, we don't recommend chewing your ice, but it's kind of like some gas stations have this ice. But when you open this up, and we've used the reservoir, you can see about half of that water's been used, so you could refill it if you need it, so it's just on hand. But what this does is, and I have a video of it, when the water's coming out of here, it actually drips through the top of this, and it drips through the back of the ice, down through the bottom of the tray, back into the water reservoir. Very interesting. At first I was like, wait, what? Because there's nothing in the directions about that happening. That's why you're watching this video, so you know what to expect when you get yours, if you decide to get it. So because this is chewy ice, it's not as solid as that ice comes out of the freezer. It kind of melts down here. You can notice it's kind of almost liquefied. Well, when it melts, it drains back in to the water reservoir below, and then it just recycles that water and turns it back in to the ice on top. So it kind of stays. So I'm gonna open it up, show you what the ice looks like, and then I'm gonna give you my thoughts on a few things and remind you about a couple key features on this. All right, so we're gonna open it up. This drip tray, very key, because when you open this up, it's amazing how much water comes out. So that is something to keep in mind if you're thinking about purchasing this. This is almost a $600 ice maker. And when you do this, so it holds like that, all right? I mean, that's, you get down there to the bottom, still chewy. The scoop comes with it. Okay, whoops, I missed the button. So let's see here, scoop into the glass. All right, so that could stay in, or you could have something up on top. All right, so see, a few little leaks. That wasn't actually bad. All right, now it sensed that we used the ice, it's gonna make some more ice. You can kind of see, let's see if I, all right, so yeah, a few drips came out, so you wanna keep that there. All right. All right, so time to wrap this video up. If you're checking this out, remember, 600 bucks. I did check it out on Consumer Reports for you guys because I haven't had it long, 24 hours. Gets a 91 rating. Little inefficiency is what they claim, but other than that, a 91 on Consumer Reports is pretty darn good. Just be aware, a little bit of water issue, so keep that tray, but that wasn't too bad right there. We didn't have a water leakage issue. The ice is quality. Love that chewy ice. Just be careful with your teeth. Remember, when it's time to descale, you will drain the water out of it, empty it out. None of this is dishwasher safe. Wash it by hand. Don't use soap in the water reservoir, okay? You're gonna descale just white vinegar, fill up that line like we did with the setup process, but instead of putting bleach, no bleach, just pure white vinegar, so like 5 cups. And you're gonna run 3 cleaning cycles through it. That's where you hold the button for 3 seconds. And then you're gonna let it sit for 18 hours is what the manual said. And at that point, you can take like a sponge and you can wipe down, if you've got any hard water spots on the inside, you can wipe down any of the spots on the inside of the machine, okay? If you've got to sanitize it, that's just like the setup. Water, hi Tiki, and 1 teaspoon of bleach. And then make sure after you, both times when you're done, you immediately get rid of that bleach sanitization process by draining it through the tubes. Don't let that sit in your machine, and then run clean water through it. Same with the vinegar. Once it's sat for 18 hours, drain it, and then run like 3 cycles of fresh water through it to get that vinegar solution out of there. And then you're ready to go. Fill it back up like I showed you. Enjoy the machine. Hey, if you've got any questions, leave a comment. I'm gonna leave a link to the manual in the description. So if you wanna follow along, I've taken some pictures of the manual and I will post that as well. Let us know what you think of the machine, and we will get back to it. I appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead, give this video a thumbs up. It really does help. Please subscribe to the channel. That also helps if you liked what we brought you. And remember, if no one's told you, you're a 10 out of 10. Let's go.